Hi, my name is Levi, and this is the Crystal Portal Podcast, where we talk about crystals, moldavite, spirit guides, sacred geometry, intuition, quantum energy, and all things metaphysical. Find something special for your spiritual journey. Shop online at moldavitejewelry.com to support my work. All right, everyone, welcome to episode 12 of the podcast. So this is one section known as the wings portion of the crystal portal. So let's get into it. The wings, both left and right, are located at the very back of the crystal portal. So if you recall last episode, we took a look at the waterfall of Herkimers, and the episode before that, we were looking at the span section. So the wings actually bolt on to the backside of each of the span sections. So the Darwinite on the backside of the span is where each of the wings will connect. So within the wing section, they're actually, let's see, I got to gently pull this off of here. So these are not attached right now, but the two wing sections have Fulgurite all the way across the top, and on the other side, down here, black tourmaline all the way around the bottom, Pollucite across the top of the Fulgurite, Herkimer Diamond Quartz from Herkimer County, New York. And this one is an interesting variety of Feldspar. We'll get into that in just a minute. If you've been following along with the podcast here, you'll notice a theme. So black tourmaline is all the way around pretty much all the sections of the crystal portal. So let's look closer at that. This is a good example of a nice terminated crystal. So for those of you that are relatively new to the crystal terminology, when you hear terminated, that means there's a point at the very top. And you'll also notice there's nice striations on the sides here. This is another good example. Well terminated. And here's one that's not very common when you see it's double terminated, meaning it's terminated on both sides. It's kind of a cool find. So black tourmaline, it grounds and transmutes energy. And the Book of Stones, Naisha writes, black tourmaline is one of the premier stones for our age. It has the ability to transmute and purify negative energy, turning it into usable energy. This is especially important as one fully opens one's psychic and empathic abilities. Black tourmaline acts to protect one's energy field against attachments, entities, and energetic debris. Bad vibes, you know. Black tourmaline is also an electrical gemstone and can be used to purify and regulate the electrical and other energetic systems of the body. It is especially useful for those who experience high levels of stress in their work or home lives. She also writes, black tourmaline is grounding and is one of the most effective stones for use for creating a grounding circuit with the Earth's energetic field, like the Schumann resonance. This grounding circuit is increasingly important as we strive to adjust ourselves to the Earth's shifting electromagnetic field. Unless one is well grounded and attuned to the planetary energies, these shifts can increase feelings of stress and negativity. By utilizing the supportive energy of black tourmaline, one is able to easily move into alignment with these subtle changes. These little beauties with the rainbows are Herkimer diamond crystals from Herkimer County, New York. And a lot of them are double terminated. They send and receive energy. They're all the way down here in the front, or technically the back section, and then they trace all the way up the top. Now, we're not going to go into Herkimer Diamonds for this episode. If you'd like to learn more, check out the Waterfall of Herkimers in episode 11 and episode 10, 9, and 8 of the podcast. That's why I'm doing the series of the crystals in the portal, because there's a lot of them. Across the top are these tiny fragments of fossilized lightning called fulgurite. So there's more around the backside here. This is fulgurite from Morocco. This is another one from Morocco. It's pretty unusual to find larger pieces of fulgurite. Really like the fulgurite, so this one really kind of called to me. Here's a fun fact. The hollow pieces are where the material actually vaporized. So when lightning strikes the Earth, they say that it is hotter than the surface of the sun for a very split second, and that intense heat literally vaporizes the material, creating these hollow tubes, which are great for manifestation. This is a cool example where you can see the inside of the fulgurite and how it literally turned to glass. It's got an interesting, almost like a tiger-like texture here. This is an extraordinary large piece. Actually, it was collected in Hawaii after a hurricane. The gentleman I bought it from said he went out there in the sand, the beach, after the hurricane, was just digging these things up. So this one is actually hollow. It's kind of hard to see, but it is hollow. Let's learn a little bit about fulgurite. Fulgurites are among the most powerful stones for manifesting one's visions through the power of prayer. The lightning energy, long believed to be the touch of the divine, still resides within them, and they can act as magnifiers of one's clear intentions, building a powerful resonance between oneself and the latent powers of the higher worlds. Holding a fulgurite, one may sense a vortex of energy, whizzing through the chakras at all levels of the light body, purifying and cleansing the entire system. You can create some crystal grids or body layouts and have some interesting effects. For the type of layout he describes here, you can create an energy vortex or a tornado effect in which one's entire energy body receives a complete purification and activation. For interdimensional travel, mercabite calcite, herderite, scolecite, phenakite, or naturalite can be added. They work really well with moldavite. Naisha writes, fulgurite is a cardinal storm element stone. It carries the energy of pure lightning captured in a moment within the matrix of molten silica. As the molten silica reforms, it aligns its structure with the energy of the lightning and freezes that instant power in time, making it manifest on Earth. They're especially helpful for those that are ready to experience major breakthroughs and to release habit patterns that no longer serve them. The stone carries a pure expression of the storm element energy, so it can create deep cleansing and purification on all levels. Another one with the vortex energy is Darwinite, and we talked about that in the episode covering the span, so you can learn more about that one there. Across the top of the fulgurites, up here, these small clear minerals are fragments of Pollucite. It's a fairly obscure mineral, but it's got some really interesting energy. Let's learn some more. In the book Love is in the Earth by Melody, she writes, Pollucite is an excellent energy for Reiki and all hands-on healing, to direct one's actions and to stimulate the proper response to the energies applied. She also writes, Pollucite has provided protection against the impurities and contaminants in one's environment, assisting in the dissipation of the same. Hence, it is a very positive energy to have residing in one's environment, to have one's energy field during any type of travel, like through a crystal portal. Pollucite has been shown via Kirlian photography that when activated, it emanates the total spectrum of color and can hence be applied to all energy meridians for activation, stimulating, and cleansing, and can be used in the restoration of all centers. At the far end of the wings portion of the crystal portal, we've got this mineral right here. This is a form of Feldspar. For this, we're going to go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole, and I was trying to think of a good analogy to describe this. So I started thinking about tomatoes. Most people are familiar with tomatoes. So you've got, in the tomato family, you have Roma tomatoes, grape tomatoes, and other kinds, other varieties. So another layer below that, you might have a yellow grape tomato, a particular name, and then two other types of cherry tomatoes. These two are a very rare form of feldspar called Adularia. So for that, we're going to look at 3 layers deep for it. Number 1, it's feldspar. The first layer, feldspar. The general properties of feldspar group include assisting one in detaching from the old, hence encouraging unconventional and exciting methods to attain one's goals. Layer 2. It is a member of the feldspar group called Microcline. In addition to the properties listed under feldspar section of this book, the following attributes apply. The mineral is excellent for gridding, for polarity, balance, protection, and for releasing that which is unwanted. And the specific variety is one called Adularia. Adularia can be used to enhance one's devotion to a cause, purpose, or person. The energies of the mineral increase one's ability to see the positive attributes in all. It also encourages the practical side of one's nature and is conducive to facilitation of increased performance in situations of one's life work. If you've been wondering, this is some 830-odd pages of metaphysical descriptions about all kinds of minerals that a lot of people aren't even aware of. About 10 years ago, when I started getting into learning about the metaphysical properties of crystals and minerals, I found this. It's called Love is in the Earth, the Crystal and Mineral Encyclopedia by Levi. And it's hands down the best book I've ever found on learning about the energies of minerals. So if you're interested, go look it up. Thanks for tuning in for today's show. Hopefully you're enjoying some of this. And I realize this is a little bit more of a cerebral episode on some more of the obscure metaphysical properties of minerals. But for me personally, this is what I really enjoy, is learning about both the scientific and the metaphysical of a lot of these really obscure minerals that a lot of people aren't even aware of. So anyways, if you're enjoying this, please share with a friend. It really helps the podcast to grow. And tune into next show. We're going to be exploring more of the crystals in the portal with thousands of beads that were made over the last 3 years. So this is really an extraordinary one that you're not going to want to miss. All right, so until next time, tune into your intuition because you are the key. Align the universe within to illuminate your destiny.